Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video and I am working in my 6x8 album for my latest trip to New York, which was right at the end of February and the first day of March of 2022. And this was actually one of the biggest reasons I decided to go, is I wanted to see this exhibit at the Met, inspiring Walt Disney, the animation of French decorative arts. I follow some people in New York and one of my friends lives there, and I heard that this was just fantastic, and I knew I could get there within the last 2 weeks that it was running. And so I decided to figure out when I could fly, and it worked out. And so I think I was there like 3 or 4 days before it closed, because like a lot of the merchandise was on sale. I bought a shirt there and it was 50% off, so it was super cheap. I think it was supposed to be like $45 or something, so I paid half that, which was awesome. And the exhibit itself was great, and I want to feature some of the fun stuff here. As you'll notice, this has a flip. I know I want this photo in one of these pockets here, probably the lower, I think. Yeah, probably the lower. Then I can have a pocket card or put this there. This is from a digital file, and it actually came as a card, but I decided to fussy cut it so I could use a different background rather than just white. But maybe it'll end up being white anyway. I don't know, but I need to pick out a background because it's got to go somewhere. And then on the flip here, I did also consider putting it here because part of that Walt Disney is going to be obscured anyway. But when you see this, you kind of know, like Princess Castle, right? So you would know it was Disney, and I like the way it looks. And then maybe have that there. It's pink and a castle, and so I thought that might go well together, but I'm not sure. I could end up totally rearranging these in the 3x4 pockets, and it could end up looking very different. But at least this is what I have to start with today. When I started looking at all of these, I think I may change the configuration a little bit. I didn't even realize, like in this picture, you can see right here some castles. This is the close-up of that. So originally I had these next to each other. I don't think I want that. It's just not as fun to be like, oh yeah, here's the faraway, here's the close-up. I'd rather mix those in somehow. So I think the 3x4 is going to have to go on the outside, maybe even on top. So it kind of gives the hint of, oh, here's a close-up. And then when you open it up, you realize like, oh, here are the long shots. Might be okay with that. Then I could have this here, still have the Disney here, but then this one would end up being on the inside and probably here. Because this already has some framed art, I wouldn't want those next to each other. It probably would work better down below. So given that this is what will be seen when somebody turns the page, this is your first sight. Sorry if you can hear them yelling upstairs. They're excited about something. This will be what is first seen. And so I'm thinking for the background here, I need to pull out some of these colors. There's already a lot of navy blue happening, so I really don't want to do that. Plus, it's very dark. I want to keep it lighter. So in looking at this, I see kind of an orchid purple color here. Of course, the cream tone is fine, but I didn't really want to do white or cream. And then I've got kind of this teal color back here and on the top of the castle there. So I'm thinking it might be one of those two, just to add a really nice pop of color. So I think I'm going to pull out my scraps in purple and sort of greenish, bluish teal and just see what I find. In my scraps, I really only found 2 things that I thought might work, and actually one of them not really. When I held it up here, I found this, and it's really more of like a peacock color, I would say, than a true teal. It's awfully close to this too, a little too close. Like, I just don't like that, and it's very dark. So that's a no. And then I have this piece, which I had thrown into my purple, and I see why, but it's actually a mix of things. Now, I wouldn't want to use it like smack in the middle. That pink blends in too much. But when I put it over here, it's not so bad because really I'd be cutting it about here. Or I could do up here. This is much more of a purpley background. So I'm considering it. I'm not saying no to it. And I love that it is stained glass. And I bought this for Europe. I think I used most of it for Prague actually, but I had this left over and I thought, okay, well that kind of works because the whole Beauty and the Beast with the stained glass deal in the movie. So I'm going to keep that and see what happens. But I'm also going to go into my 6x8 papers and just see, do I have anything in there that I could cut down that might work a little better? So in my 6x8 papers, I only found one that I'm even considering, and I gotta be honest, I'm not crazy about it. It's this one. I was really hoping I'd find something kind of in this fuchsia sort of tone, magenta, like a little bit of, it's pink, but there's a little bit of purple in there too. Nothing. And I found nothing that was in teal. So that just isn't going to happen, which kind of surprises me. I feel like I should have every color, but for some reason, that's not one that I seem to have much of. So if I were to use this, this is how it would look. I think I would have to outline for sure to just make it stand out from that paper. Whereas over here, I don't feel like I would have to. I mean, I could, but I don't feel like I would have to. I think it's going to be this one. I'm not 100% sold, and I'm afraid to do it and then not be happy with it. So I think I'm just going to go with this one. All right, so I did cut off the upper portion to use as the background rather than that lower part because I wanted the more purple, little bit of purpley pink, tiny bit of yellow maybe just starting to show through. I just felt like that was better. Now I could also do it this way to make it look like the sun is shining. Which way do I like here? You know what? I like it better that way, I think. So that will be how it goes. I also have for the outlining, if I do it, I have both a silver and a gold glitter pen. Given what's here, I'm thinking gold would probably be the better option, and because of what you can see here, but I think I'll adhere it first and then make up my mind after I see it. Because I was a little nervous about doing the outlining using the gold, I figured, well, you know, I'll try it on the paper and see what I think. So this is how it looks on just a white piece of cardstock. When I did it on this, I hope you can see it on there. I just did kind of a little back and forth pattern there. So it shows, but it's, there they go again. It's relatively flat per se, rather than like super bold and shiny. So I think I'm going to try it on here. This is a digital file. So if I hate the way it looks, I could certainly reprint this. I do have another chunk of this paper. You know, it's not exactly the same pattern, but close in terms of color. I could redo it if I absolutely hate it. And ta-da, it's done. And it's very, very subtle. You definitely see it more over here in the darker areas, I think. And then up here, much less so where it's lighter. But my hope is that as people are turning the page, hopefully it catches the light enough. Like for me, when I hold it at this angle, I can see it really well. As opposed to here, I can see it hardly at all. When I was trying to figure out what to do up here with this dead space, I think I'm actually going to use this little circle that I have and only use this part that has no grid lines. I'll cut it right there. I'll save that part. I can definitely use that for something else. And I'm going to overlap it along the bottom here, and then I'll stamp or put an embellishment there. I'm just not sure what that is yet. I have decided to use this little 2x3 stamp set from Citrus Twist. And they make quite a few of these, and I find them to be extremely useful in the phrases they choose. So shout out to Citrus Twist for making some fun stamps. And I've already removed the one I want to use, and it just says perspective, because for this exhibit especially, I think perspective is appropriate because I loved the idea of, oh, they're doing a whole exhibit about French Deco style and how Disney saw that and went, you know what? That's the aesthetic that we want. There we go, the stamping is done. It came out well. And I should mention I had never used that one, so I did season it before I used it. And then I also have to show this. I recently got a new stamp cleaner scrubber thing because my other one was absolutely horrendous. And this is the cleanest you will ever see it. All right, when I attach this, I decided to actually leave just a little tiny bit of the grid lines to kind of mimic the lines that are in here. And I was nervous at first I wouldn't like it, but I actually do. I think it adds more visual interest than it just being flat pink. So, whoops, happy about that. Now I'm just gonna put in a little staple right here, and that pocket is done. When I put this all in there and was ready to start on this, I realized this is double-sided. I forgot that. And this shows through. I kind of dig that. I wasn't planning to use that, but I like the way it looks with the colors that are in here. So I think I'm just going to keep it, and then I'll have to embellish it somehow. And I thought I was going to have a journaling card there, but I think my subsequent layouts from this exhibit will leave room for journaling, so I'm not going to freak out that I'm not journaling here. But then I have to figure out what the heck is going to go here. It has to be something relatively large to fit in there and not make it look weird, like there's too much background. So that's what I'm on the hunt for now. I found something I think I'm going to try. It's different than what I thought when I said, oh, I don't really need journaling. I may mix that up a bit. I found this, and I love the color of it, and that it says enjoy today. Oh, I did. This was perfect. And then I thought, well, can I just like take a piece of white and run it across and use that as my journaling, just kind of a strip enough to say like, this is the whole reason I came to New York this time, or something to that effect. I think it would be okay because there is white here. It's mostly off-white here, but a little bit in the back. I think maybe it would be okay as long as I didn't make this too big. So I'm going to cut a piece that I think might be the right size and see what I think. I cut two different sizes here, and I felt like this one was too big, so I'm not going to use that one. I will attach this one. And then the other thing is that I wanted to use this. Well, I forgot, hey, if I'm going back to back, I can't have that show through. So I only put it through the actual little pennant, not the whole thing. So that's done. All I have left to do is adhere this. When I was looking at all of this, I decided I did need something on one of these photos, but I didn't want to have anything here to detract from that. So I put it up here. I just went with this little piece of ephemera here that says favorite, and it's pink, slightly different shades than the other ones I have, which is great. It gives a nice contrast. But then here is what people will see when they look at the page originally, and then it folds out to show this. And I absolutely love the papers I ended up using, and all of the ephemera pieces, and the stamping. So very, very happy with this one. So here's another one completed for New York. Thanks for watching.